Literally Gaysians.
Literally Gaysians.
I just realized we always start after a bunch of ads.
Yeah.
It isn't until after it all launches where I realize I forget that people have to wait through these ads.
They're like Cricket Wireless and Carvana and then literally Gaysians.
Or like LinkedIn. I'm like, is it because we were so unemployed for so long that they have these LinkedIn things? Or Juvederm. I'm like, excuse you, I do not use Juvederm. I do get Botox, but I do not use Juvederm.
Botox lasts longer.
I know. And I'm like, on this Acast thing, this is where we host our podcast. They're asking if we want to accept political ads.
I'm like hesitant about that because I don't know if we get to choose. Do we get to choose them?
We don't get to choose them. I don't think so.
Watch it'll be like some neo-Nazi ad that comes up. It'll be great.
I know. Or
it'd be kind of hot.
Or anti-abortion rights. or bathroom laws. I think we're definitely gonna get canceled. But I sort of want to live life on the edge like that. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think we should do it, right?
We could do it for 1 week.
I mean, after Biden's performance, maybe we do need to do it.
Yeah. We could do it in the October episode, right before the election.
You know what? Because we have accepted political ads, we're gonna single-handedly save the country. Us and our 2 listeners.
You know, I went into my Instagram, and you know how they disabled political ads on its own again? If you hard close it and open it, it switches you back to no political ads. You have to go back and turn it on.
Oh, interesting. I don't know. Anyway, welcome to Literally Gaysians.
Where 2 gay Asian guys get real about their feelings and literally, I guess, Gaysian stuff.
I guess. Have we been... I don't know. I guess.
Well, if we're talking, it's Gaysian,
yes.
Right?
It's Gaysian stuff just by association. And we had an exciting episode lined up for you with a guest that we couldn't believe said yes to be on this podcast. But this morning, they canceled.
But, you know, they need to reschedule because they're really sick, in extreme pain.
They are really sick, yeah.
I feel for them. I empathize. I sympathize.
Yes. I feel bad for them because, I mean, I did not go to Pride this weekend, but y'all who went to Pride this weekend, I'm really feeling it for you because he's in pain and you are.
I am with COVID.
You are with COVID.
I thought I was just tired because, you know, just was going out and I got more sleep than usual this Pride than others. I was like, wow, things must be changing. But I probably have the flirts variant of COVID. That's the flirting that I had this weekend at all. Just its symptoms are extreme fatigue.
Oh, did you make out with anyone?
I might have. I think it's just one person.
Okay, isn't it so funny that maybe 5 years ago, we would go literally make out, eat people's ass, at random strangers' asses out, get our own ass eaten, then made back out to us, suck dicks, fuck at one party, and go to work unscathed with just a come down.
Speak for yourself, but
but now going, you're not even making out. You are literally just flirting with somebody, and you get COVID going out now. So
if
annoying.
even I don't even feel the energy to flirt with people, but maybe it was the Rona. Maybe I just was tired. I don't know. Or I got it from the weekend. Who knows?
I know. And it's funny because we decided just to continue to do this episode. Our guest canceled. You have COVID. Every reason not to do this episode. But you know what? We just have not been as consistent as before. So we're just going to do this as a random episode and cover whatever's going on. No script, kind of.
And I'm really lonely because I can't leave the house. So you're the only person I've seen in a bit now.
Can you not leave the house, or can you just mask it?
I did go get a little bit of groceries because if I was going to be lonely, I need to eat. But I masked and I did self-checkout. It's what were you saying? We're Gaysians over COVID.
I know you were like really a little nervous about like, should I go on and say I got Pride? No, sorry, I got COVID going to Pride. I'm like, this isn't 2020. But if it was, that would be pretty funny. And this isn't gays over COVID. Yeah, this is Gaysians over COVID. And you were literally Gaysians over COVID.
Yeah. But I need to eat and I need to make out with the one person over Pride.
You should text them and tell them you got COVID. But we'll get into all that. We'll get into all that. Because first, the only line of business we have to do that we did have to go to the internet and figure out who was our Patreon shade. That part of the episode, we're going to call out our new Patreon subscribers. I can't hear the outside. Usually I can.
I closed all my windows. It's hot. It is boiling hot here in San Francisco. We have 80-degree weather, and I've closed the windows for our podcast. It's a painful one. And much like we're going to go back to our first podcast where we are unscripted and drinking.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's going to happen.
But again, first, Patreon shade. Oh, let me have a drink too. So we're going to call out our new Patreon subscribers.
And these are the ones who have tortured themselves with a paid subscription to our Patreon. And don't forget to support our podcast. You could join too. Join us at patreon.com/literallygaysians.
And then we'll call you out with some shade too. We won't name your last name, but we'll still go for you. And since our guest canceled on us, the theme for this week's Patreon shade is why this subscriber would get canceled. And Chris, you got the first one.
Okay, let me go down the list. Jordan. Oh, Jordan, I know you got canceled because you came at all your friends like a white vegan, acting like you invented veganism.
I know. And then I see him eat like a literal like pastrami sandwich.
Yeah, but let's not forget about you, Bao. Plant-based. I'm plant-based.
I'm plant-based, but like I literally had like a carne asada taco the other day and then immediately felt sick. But my Patreon shade is for Emery. You got canceled on TikTok because you were hating on trans music and you're calling yourself transphobic, but then everyone thought you said transphobic and hate trans people, and that's why you were canceled. So Chris was nice. Yes, I pulled that from personal experience.
We got Justin. Justin got canceled because you ran the regional chapter of the Taylor Swift fan club and embezzled cash to spend on your pyramid scheme selling hot pizza vending machines.
That was creative. Mm-hmm. Creative and very random.
But also pulled from the history books. I have a family friend who lost 20 grand on investing on a pyramid scheme for pizza vending machines. This was 20 years ago. That was cool then. It was rough.
Wow.
Rough times.
I didn't know that there were pizza vending machines, and I didn't know that you can scam people on it.
Well, no, there wasn't pizza vending machines. It was a scam.
Oh, exactly. That sounds like a good scam. Okay, last one, QT Nightlife.
Oh, I love me some QT Nightlife.
QT Nightlife. You got canceled because you put Les Seraphim on your promo poster for K-pop night, but the image you used was actually of the group twice. So then the millions of Les Seraphim fans decided to dox you to the point where you had to close down all your social media accounts and were reported 1 billion times.
Okay, you're such a bitch because all of your shade on these people is just shade that you've done about me.
We know how it feels to get doxxed by K-pop fans. Say one wrong thing.
I have a lot of wrong things to say, apparently.
We were thinking of doing another like K-pop episode. I was eating dinner with my friends Steve and Kim. Steve was on the podcast. Kim was also on the podcast. And we were talking about we should do another K-pop episode, but it should be Steve and Kim.
And without me.
Oh, I think it'd be fun with you.
Yeah, I would love to learn more.
And then Kim was like, we got to be careful on podcasting anything about K-pop fandoms. And I was like, yeah, they're going to go for you. They came for Steve. And then Kim's like, but I have an empire.
The shade.
The shade, like
your tens of
she
fans.
Could lose it all. She could
your
lose
tens
it
of
all.
fans might shade you, but
I know. Anyway.
But thank you to all of our subscribers who know that we have gone to absolutely no lengths for you all.
0 lengths. This has
We're
been keeping
working
me up
on
at
it.
night. We're working on it. They will be Patreon only episodes, and one will be out this week. So subscribe, and you will get the part of us that isn't afraid of getting canceled. I mean, I guess we could still get canceled, but behind a paywall, I think we're gonna get a little bit more real.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. So after this break, we will see what this episode's gonna turn out. Be right back. Okay, we are back, and we're just gonna like raw dog it. This is a raw dog podcast episode. And maybe a good place to start is what's going on. How's your heart?
Oh God, I don't know. Let's maybe I'll get to it eventually. Let's see how many cups of wine this takes me to get into it. But like I was saying earlier, I'm coming down from Pride. I went down to LA Pride and saw you, and since then, I've just been wondering how excited I would be about San Francisco Pride. And Pride is different. It just feels very different than it used to.
So what do you mean? I mean, I feel the same way. This is my first inactive Pride. I've been like dialing it down the last few years. I mean, obviously there was the pandemic, but I've been dialing it down, and not like really intentionally. It's just like it's just been happening,
Well, I wonder if like the pandemic is part of one of the biggest parts. Like, would we have just kind of been going at a more steady pace with this in the dialing down, or has that really pushed us into like the worst place? But I think one of the things, I've been going to Pride since I was 15, maybe 14 years old. And so and I can't even do the math. That's like 20 something Prides already. And I think that's in some people's heads, that's a lot. Like, I feel like I've always been very participatory, in the early days, literally the 90s, it was activist Pride, marching. And I kind of stopped marching like a while back, but I was still.
Well, I mean, it used to mean something to march.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, let's wait for the whole Salesforce and Apple like contingent to go through. To it is now only for straight allies at work to go to.
Yeah.
Yes,
I feel
which I appreciate,
but we're like the caretakers of the straight allies, which sometimes means that we can't go as ham because we're at work when we're doing that. And also what was strange, like the excitement for Pride, and when I did drag, and this closely reflects how I've been feeling about drag too, is it's both not as and differently exciting as it used to be. Before I'm working on our big Pride number, we're going to be up at the Asian Pacific Islander stage, which you would always be at. We'd take great photos. We'd have a good time.
It's windy as fuck.
And then, the last couple of years, I haven't even been able to make it into the Pride space because of the long lines. Half an hour waiting for a bag check, missing people. And this year, most of June was strangely spent at corporate gigs doing Pride. It's just that's
like drag at the corporate gigs.
So it might be a museum, it might be big tech company, and I'll be helping because I haven't been doing drag as much. And what's interesting, for some of my younger drag sisters, when a gig call comes up, the first thing that somebody asks, is it a paid gig? It's so strange. And this is not shade on them. It's just life is different. Drag is different. Yes, they should be paid for their talents, if they have any. But I never got...
Or if they don't, they were just born into the right drag troupe.
Yeah. I rarely got paid or expected to be paid. Like 10 years ago, it was for me. So
it was art. It was art, darling.
High art and low art. Lots of low art.
Yeah, I don't know. Pride has definitely... I don't know, when you said you've been going to 20 Prides, I'm like, I think I've gone to 20 Prides too.
Yeah.
but they've all blurred together because I definitely feel like I've been to the API stage in SF all those 10 years. Some years I was probably out of town. Last year we didn't go to LA Pride because we were in Mexico.
Oh yeah.
And our Eat Pray Love in Oaxaca.
Mm-hmm.
Where
we had our own pride.
Eat Pray shit. We didn't find love, but all of us shit all through that trip. But like
but even like say 10 years ago we kind of turned into party prides, and that was fun too. But
did
now
did I go to see you guys in Pride last
party
year?
prides is not even like as a thing. Like
I don't know. I don't know. I see the stories of younger people or like people who are still going to the parties, and it also just looks fun.
It does.
It looks fun, but I know how I am there. Like the hill just doesn't hit us well anymore, you know? Mm-hmm. And like, if I can't make out or hook up with a guy because that's not where me and my boyfriend are right now, like then what's, you know, I'm just gonna be stumbling and tripping on water bottles that are on the floor. You know what I mean?
I mean, not like your friends are like wonderful or something.
So the thing is, but then also, I have decided like Molly is like once in a while. Just cause I just don't feel it, but like I feel the withdrawal from it. Like not the withdrawal, come down.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like annoying to go through all that for like the shortest high.
Yeah.
And so I'm back at work and now I'm just like afraid of, you know, the trauma of finding a job was so hard that like I just don't want to have to be. And I know it's something I can't control, and if they want to lay me off, they can lay me off. But at some point, I'm trying not to give him any reason to.
Yeah. This goes back to that hate comment that we got on our first 2 episodes. Y'all are 40 years old trying to party. Like, yeah.
The fact that y'all do this at this age is depressing. That was the comment. Oh my God. I mean, it is. Just kidding. It is. So what?
We're still trying to enjoy our lives.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
figuring it out is the issue.
Yeah. I think that with Pride, I mean, I had the only Pride thing I went to was with you guys when you were here. I went to that Glam Cox party, and even then I wasn't going to go. And I was like, that's probably the one Pride thing I will do because you guys are in town. It'll be fun. And we went to Glam Cox in LA.
And it was fun.
It was fun. It was fucking white. It was fun.
I was surprised, and I thought San Francisco Glam Cox was white. And I know that they have been putting in a lot of effort into diversifying. But, there's only so much that they can do to, not control, but to get a crowd to be a little bit more diverse.
I know. And I was like, no one goes here to Glam Cox when you guys came. But you guys are I think that was the one party you guys had like name recognition around. And plus, we all don't like circuit music, and let's be honest, most of the Gaysians are at GPS.
Yeah, I've heard. That's where all the Gaysians went.
But that's the one thing I miss about SF is like, I mean, because it was like basically half Asian. Anywhere you would show up, there would be your representation there. But in LA, because it's so big and much more diverse, quite honestly, each kind of party and club has like their group. Like it's much more segregated.
Yeah.
And so like if you go to Glam Cox in SF, you would call it white, but it was still at least a third Asian because it's SF. But in LA, it's like definitely become a white thing. And you know how like I was trying to find a cheap ticket and I couldn't, and it was like expensive. You're like, just ask for the BIPOC discount. I didn't do it. I should have done it. They need to give a BIPOC discount.
Yeah. The LA crowd, sure, they're generally hot folks, but I couldn't. It was strange to look around and not pay any attention to them because they all looked the same kind of white LA guy. And this is not shade. It's just they're just all blurred together.
Yeah. And you know what? I did not feel like it was a racist space at all.
No,
I did not feel excluded.
Outsider. Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel invisible. Like that's not what I felt. I want to just say that it's just like factually a very white community. I thought the music was great. Girl, when they played that Tinashe Nasty and Dom Dollar remix, I lost it. I'm like, these white boys here ain't gonna appreciate that.
Nope. They've never heard of it.
I know, and then it's like,
they're the white boy doing the Tinashe
who's
dance.
this Tinashe person? I need to Shazam this Tinashe person. Bradford, can you tend to Shazam this? Anyway, sorry, now I'm getting mean. Or it's like one of those spaces where the people of color were the one people of color in their group, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we were
the
this
so-called
group
tokens.
of like,
we're the super token group.
Yeah, where we're like all together, Asians and allies, and I don't know. At some point, it's like I hate that my mind thinks that way in that lens of just like the way we grew up in like SF and during a time clubbing where our own spaces were so important, or the only places that we felt like accepted. That like it's a new world now. I can't go to an all white space and not feel like it's a racist space because people are not being racist to me or just excluding me. They're talking, they're nice, but then I hate that like I've grown up with this lens and I'm trying to shake it of like, oh, it's all white space. All of POC here must hate themselves and I think that's like a toxic thought to hang on. I have to like be aware that it's happening
because what we're used to.
Yeah, I was like my defenses were up at that party the first 30 minutes, also because I wasn't rolling like you guys, but then after a while, I'm like, the people are nice. They're polite.
Yeah. Nobody was rude. They were actually super fun to like, be dancing around.
Yeah. So I was like, just because it's an all white space doesn't make it automatically a racist space. Maybe you can fight me on that and maybe you might win.
And there might be some racist people there, but we weren't interacting with them.
Yeah.
It's funny because I saw this TikTok on Asian party spaces. This girl who is in, she like studies this, and she was saying that one of the reasons that she thinks that Asians are really big into EDM, especially in America.
That has been going around.
Yeah, it was because like it's a sound that they can latch onto that's kind of like it's theirs and be together with, whereas like say R&B and hip hop might be for one group of people and country might be for another, and so this is where they feel tied together, which made me think about how, and this might sound very strange, is I never felt that deeply tied to necessarily Asian community spaces. It's what I found myself in because it was, in those years, the only places that would accept me. Yeah, maybe in my earlier years, I did do a lot of like Asian community action and activism, but it wasn't, I think what I was also mostly trying to fight for was diverse communities rather than just like the safety in the Asian community. I think it's weird because like we run this Gaysian podcast and I always talk about it, but really, I don't care.
You know what? Me neither. I just wanted to. No. Sorry. That I don't. It's not like I don't care. It's just like, look. When I think of the Gaysian community, I think of like the target audience for QT nightlife. Mm-hmm. Like I don't catch cop Pokemon.
I don't listen to K-pop.
Okay, well I do listen to K-pop,
yes.
but I don't know every K-pop member's name. But if you ask my boyfriend, he says because I hate women. What else don't I don't love boba, but I will. It's part of the community, so I'm going to go get boba.
I mean, it tastes good. It's available to everyone.
Yeah,
I hate Above and Beyond.
Yeah, I think when I to that point, when I saw that TikTok and she was, I mean, I was like, I would love this if I loved the EDM music that Asian people love.
Yeah.
So there's Above and Beyond. I mean, I'm fine with it. You hate it. It's the Millennium Girl.
Yeah. The sad boy vibes, it does, and it's interesting about it, it's not just the Gaysians, it's the straight ones too, and so sometimes I feel actually very left out in the Asian and Gaysian communities because I don't identify with these
interests,
like mass interests.
Well, I think the biggest exclusion point for you is that you can't taste cilantro. It tastes like soap food. So I just don't.
No,
think
I
you're
taste
Asian.
it, and it tastes like soap.
Like soap. That sucks. You're just not Asian. You're not Asian enough. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
I should call you a slur.
I'm genetically not Asian enough.
Yeah, you're not genetically not Asian.
We're going to start
That's what they're
taking
gonna-
23andMe tests to get into like an Millennium concert.
Yeah. Because the millennium just sounds like, and you know what? My theory on EDM in the Asian community, again, this is also a topic that we continue to talk about where we know nothing about really. But my theory is that a lot of Asian people grew up in the church. And when you go to a rave concert, especially millennium, it feels awfully like a church. And
Yes.
but the music reminds me of praise music, like the songs like Stephen Yun would sing.
Yeah.
And like
in Beef. I grew up with that.
And they're like raising their hands up, like they're worshiping the Lord. And then there's some sort of catharsis there, like you would feel at a church. And I just think like maybe, and that's the community you grew up with. And we should probably do an episode on faith, by the way. But anyway.
Well, there's studies about that it activates the same brain portions like gospel in the church or singing. But there was some people who found that, they're not religious. They just like good music.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's a theory.
But you know.
Millennium is for somebody.
Yeah.
Just not us.
Yeah. And look, and I think that's why we're all friends. I think that I hate to call it alternative Asians because we're basic as fuck as still. And
we're still friends with all those Gaysians too.
Yeah, we're basically the basic ass Asians.
Now we're gonna get canceled.
No, but then also there's just like there's I wouldn't call us alternative Asians because like the alternative Asians are so alternative. Like
they're so much cooler than us.
we
Cooler.
don't have any piercings or tattoos on our face once. Maybe if I had a mullet, which is kind of close actually. Maybe if I had a mullet, then like we could get there. Maybe if I smoked cigarettes and like did artist residencies, maybe. But like the alternative Asians, I reserve for those people who like are really like walking the walk.
Yeah, because I tried to be the alternative Asian. I had all my black clothes. I had the pink hair. Did drag, but it wasn't getting me laid. So
yeah, or like remember when drag was like alternative Asian?
Yeah, now it's just
everyone. Everyone.
It's mass appeal.
Mass appeal, which good. Yeah. But like, I think at some point the internet would literally crucify us if we thought we were like alternative Asians. And I don't know, you can't be an alternative Asian with a 401k. Like if you had a 401k once, you're not an alternative Asian. You know what I mean?
No, that means that they had parents that taught them how to save.
No, I feel like if you're an alternative Asian, you have to be like, fuck capitalism. You know what I mean? Just because you go to Burning Man doesn't mean you're an alternative Asian.
You can be an outwardly alternative Asian, but be a good planner.
Sure.
Well, okay. Yeah. All right.
Okay, and one thing
Is that when we lost our edge? When we got our 401ks? We used to be so cool, and then tech changed us.
Tech changed that stuff. There's a lot of alternative Asians in LA, I feel. And they feel really alternative Asian, you know?
But do they have, like, fancy jobs?
Some of them do, some of them don't. I don't know, like, there's one person I thought was cool, like, he was an actual artist. I mean, he's famous, like, Montaigne. Like, I feel like that's an alternative Asian. Does his like, artist residency at the Tama Finland Foundation. Like, a true artist, you know?
Yeah.
Who came from Bangkok, and his group of friends. And he listens to this podcast. Love you, Oat. But like, I don't know. There's like the alternative Asians that drive a Tesla, and it doesn't make sense to me, you know.
I guess what we're learning is that we can't box people into these very specific categories. People can straddle across all of them.
Yeah, even though
we're not growing. They're growing past us.
See, this is the lens I need to shake. This categorization. You know, and I don't know. I think honestly, maybe you can like transition into like what I've been going through, which is like a new relationship and dating.
Okay, yeah.
My boyfriend has
probably changing everything in your head.
It's changing everything. Like my life looks radically different than when I started this. It's everything I had wanted, but like I didn't realize how hard it is to like do it because my nervous system some days, some weeks is shot because nothing he does, or it's everything I do and I think. And it's like, I had spent all this time taking a break from work and, you know, I had spent all this time thinking about like, what am I doing? And like, I don't know, I think honestly, maybe you can like transition into like what I've been going through, which is like a new relationship and dating my boyfriend has the Eat, Pray, Love sabbatical thing, and felt like, and I had been through that really, really tough job search process, and I thought like, hey, I went through all that, and I like learned to find a way to find peace. I am healed. I'm ready to go back into the world. And I was almost just like, I'm not going to date anymore. I'm deleting Hinge, and I am fine just living a single life with my friends. And then this one date showed up, and I'm like, what the fuck? And it's just like throwing a wrench in everything. It's been amazing, but like, it's brought up so much shit that I didn't realize was there. And it's like little landmines that I keep walking into, and that my mind keeps going. And I think the biggest like pattern, I'm back in therapy, by the way. And the biggest pattern I've realized is just like all the things my mind wants to do to protect me because of all the relationships that didn't work out before. And I'm just like convinced because this one thing happened, or because I did this one thing, this is going to happen. Like
again, but we're all older and growing, and it's I always say process, not perfection. I feel like I've always seen you go for these goals, these big overarching goals, but sometimes I don't think you've noticed that you might have actually hit the goal, but that there's actually just more. There's just so much more than just that goal.
It's funny because I'm not really that a goal of a person for me. And this is exactly what I've talked to my therapist about, is like, I have a high performing perfectionist issue where I believe like I want to be the perfect boyfriend. And these are the qualities I think are a perfect boyfriend. I'm going to do this. And if you don't think I'm a perfect boyfriend, then what's wrong with you?
Well, then you'd be a boring boyfriend.
Or like a perfect dedicated boyfriend, you know? And then the same thing with like now starting work. Like I want to be like the perfect dedicated, like you can never put me on your do not.
No pips for you.
No pips for me. Like I am on like the fast track. Right. And I realized that, and then my boss has been like, I would freak out over a small mistake. And my boss would be like, damn, that place you used to work at really did a number on you. And I don't know, it's not okay. And maybe like, one episode in the future, I will have my ex on here and we can talk through all these things. But like, I think at some point with my ex, I was 3,000% sure that we were going to get married, going to live our lives together and be forever. And the fact that I saw that change made me really question my gut, you know?
Yeah.
And and you remember when we were breaking up, I was like kind of, I think it was the right thing to do. I was kind of depressed. I was like, man, you can really believe 3,000% in something for a few years and it can just dissipate. It could just turn on you. Like I felt like well, this is going to sound so fucking cheesy, like Sparks Camp like cheesy, but like, I felt like my heart betrayed me, if that makes any sense. Like I don't want to believe what I feel anymore. No, I mean that is, and then when I look back now, I'm like, oh no, there was all these other issues. Like, first of all, bitch, you cheated. Second of all,
so did you.
So did you. And then third of all, yeah, you said all you care about is the relationship. Then you decided to like focus on your career, traveled every week. And then when you look back, you realize like there were a lot of signs there that it was like you made wrong decisions. But we were young. We weren't in therapy. Mental health was not like a conversation. So we didn't know how to do any of this.
But also those feelings are valid.
Yeah. And so those feelings
I feel like sometimes you're trying to discount them. And I always think, even if it's in the past, like those moments were super duper valid for your growth. Yeah.
No, I realize that now. And I looked back before my relationship, this new relationship, I did look back feeling like I did learn a lot. He and I are both different people from when we started dating each other. And it's beautiful, the friendship that we have. And it's beautiful that we were able to heal through that. Mm-hmm. But how I see this showing up in my new relationship is that I have to go on a trip for 10 days for work. I get really nervous because I feel like, what if we can't keep in touch in those like 10 days? And I realize it comes from the fear of like my last relationship. I traveled so much for work that we like grew apart, you know? And it's like really not anything he's going through. He's just like happy. We miss each other. But like, I realize like my reaction to it is much, it doesn't warrant that the way the situation doesn't warrant that reaction. But I realize that fear is there. Then another fear is any moment of silence, I feel like we are getting bored of each other. And that's something that happened with Josiah, my ex. We'll bleep that name out.
Oh, it's funny because I've always thought that if there is, well, not necessarily in this situation, but could be, there's this point where some relationships grow comfortable with the silences, and I think that's what's the best part. When you're able to just be in the same room and be like, not say very much to each other, and that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're a new relationship. I think we're there now, but before, because
sure.
I had spent 5 years like by myself. Like I wasn't, and then it's the all my body can remember to protect myself from heartbreak is to like, well, look at this. This is a bad sign. Like I realized like a lot of self-sabotaging thoughts were going through my head, and for me, like the biggest issue in this relationship, and I'm trying not to talk about him as much, even though he said it was fine. He doesn't listen to this podcast.
Yet.
He said he'll only listen if he comes on. I think the biggest issue is that I have anxiety over things not working out because I've had past relationships, and his anxiety is like, this is like, he hasn't been as many relationships, and his anxiety is like, he doesn't know, he's newer, he doesn't know what to do, and then like, he's afraid I'll leave him. So his anxiety is something different. Like he's afraid I'll leave him. And for me, I'm afraid like no matter how strongly we feel, and if we do everything right, the luck just might, or like something out of our control just might happen, and we just can like not be together anymore, and it'll be a waste of time and like heartbreak that will take a few more years to get over. And these are the common themes in therapy that we're working through, but like not together, but like each of us.
Can I turn this into a selfish story about me?
Yeah, of course. This has been a selfish story about me. So
about us. Well, we did make a podcast because we're just selfish and want to talk about ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
When I hear you talk about this, like it's a common theme across like many of our episodes where we're talking about like dating and stuff like that. And my fear, your fear has been, oh, these past traumas are affecting how you feel about your current relationship. And I have a huge fear that because I have not dated for so long, which is own issue in it, but were I to start dating now at 44 plus, that I haven't dated in so long, I won't have the experience to think about these things in a thoughtful way, that if I get into a relationship, that I might meet somebody and completely fuck it up because I am not thinking about those things that you're thinking about. Like,
but that's exactly what my boyfriend feels. It's exactly what my boyfriend feels. But he doesn't have that much experience, and I think I have too much experience to be helpful. You know. Mm-hmm. And so he's so much more present in it, but he's still nervous that he doesn't know what to do like you do. And me, I'm present in it, but like I feel like I have to do all these things to be the right boyfriend and to like have the right relationship. Yeah. And I think at this point we're a little bit more, we've gotten to things that we've worked out, and that's the thing I really, really like about him, is that they're able to talk. But then like slowly I think we're just like, okay, well this is what it is, and we're just like present and just like having fun now. Yeah. I don't know.
You know what I think has helped me is I have so many friends in relationships like you, and late night we'll come home and kiki, and hearing them talk about their relationships and what's working and what's not working, it's my way of being gaining experience, and I hope that one day, it works, that what works for them or what didn't work for them are going to be things I've learned to bring to mine. Mm-hmm. But I was your third wheel for like forever, and seeing you in your relationships, showed me a lot of things. Ooh, I do not want to do that.
Wait, like what? You have to name it now.
Okay, for context for our listeners, we have traveled through like dozens of countries with you and your boyfriends. Friends? Yes, boyfriends.
Wait, which other boyfriend?
I know some of your other ex-boyfriends, I think.
Okay, so
but there's Josie, but I know some of the other ones, and I know you've talked about some of the, and sometimes I just think, like, oh my God, what are they doing? Like, like I can't let myself get into this situation. Like, you know,
Name one. I'm just curious. What's true? I mean, I have a couple of situations in my
easy
mind.
weird one was like opening up a relationship for the wrong reasons.
Oh my God. And you know, I've talked about that. You know, that's a lesson.
Or even if that wasn't the issue, lying about how you feel.
Oh yeah, I don't do that anymore. But I realize I'm not lying, Chris. That was my defense. That was my defense mechanism.
In the moment, it feels like that, and I didn't know. I had no idea, and I really felt for you because, but. Those are some of the things I started to learn. Like, oh, I think if I were to get in a similar situation, I got to be a lot very different than what I probably usually am, which is hiding my own feelings. Because I think I saw a lot of myself in the both of you. And so I'm not like shading on y'all. I felt it. I felt the pain of both of your pains. And I was like, oh God, I could easily have done this thing.
But you were there front and center of like the hardest time of our relationship, which ended in us breaking up. Mm-hmm. And I learned a lot from it. I mean, you learned from it. I learned a lot from it. Yeah. And for me, at the time, girl, I couldn't tell you how I was feeling because I was just I was trying to numb everything. Girl, we were going out all the time, doing K. I was just like, that was before right before the pandemic too. We broke up right before the pandemic. And now I'm dating someone who doesn't drink, who doesn't really go out. And so I've had to really this is mostly a sober relationship. I'm having a great time, but that makes me anxious because like usually these things I do have to just like and you know, like the therapy work has helped, like process them and be like, this is actually how I really feel, and like tell him. And then he also gets anxious and we talk through it. And like, I think that's the one thing me and Josiah didn't have in the end. We didn't have the tools to do that. Yeah. You know, we didn't know how to bring anything up. All we thought, oh, here's the solution. Let's open up our relationship. That seems to be what people are doing.
I just think that you both got together at a specific point in your lives, and you both changed in that time. And I think that was fine. Like, you both grew into different people.
I'm not scared of it. Yeah, I'm not scared of it anymore. At some point, but I did bring that fear into this relationship. What if I change midway through? And what if he changes midway through? And you know what? I would be anxious every few weeks about it. And I realized I actually can't change that.
Oh.
I actually can't change that. And the fact that I spend all this time worrying about it is stealing that time away from me being present and really enjoying this relationship.
Well, you better double up on those therapy appointments.
Yeah. No, but then, and also now that I found a way to get it paid for by insurance, it's great. But that's just kind of how I am about it. And it's funny because I wrote down here, like a thought I had was that I do want to get into more because we've been going through a lot of stuff that I find amazing. Eye-opening about things that I question about myself and that he's questioned about myself. And I realize like that is like the beautiful thing of connecting with someone and just letting them see the real
learning about
you
each
like
other. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you learn about yourself at this age. You learn like all the things that are things that literally only you feel and no one else feels, but you think everyone else is, it's just like, and then there's just some things. I mean, we're going to save that for the Patreon. The Patreon's where we're going to get real, but I think,
real. Yeah.
I know that was like, I don't know if this point really rings true. I mean, there are realer things I actually want to get into, but involve him. But for me, it's just like more about like, I'm trying to keep this to like how I feel because, I don't feel comfortable talking about some things that we've been through if I haven't run it by him and some things I've run by him. But what it has changed, how I'm feeling about how my life, like when I'm saying my life has looked radically different. I have a new boyfriend, I have a new job. It's radically different from when we started the podcast. When also I had right after my mental breakdown in 2022 when I left my job, is that I'm in a different place. And sometimes I feel, because I don't party as much anymore, I'm not in dark rooms sucking non-binary dick, and I have this boyfriend, I feel two things. Okay, let's start with the first thing. I feel a lot of guilt about not being the bow you guys are expecting to show up.
I was just about to say, sometimes I miss the old bow.
Yeah, and I know that's a real feeling, and you guys can't unfeel that. But I know that I don't want to pretend to be that bow for you guys. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
And I think it's unfair, like, me to ask that of you either. So I don't say
I
things
tell,
like
like,
that.
oh, you're not gonna go to that with us, or you can't stay out, or you're not gonna do Molly, and it's like, at some point I'm uncomfortable with it. But I used to like be a lot more anxious about it. Like I'm disappointing you guys, you know.
No,
so.
But you know what's different about it now versus say like a couple years ago? Mm-hmm. We say these things to each other, and then I'm like, oh, okay, it's great. Do your thing. We didn't do that 5-10 years ago. Yeah, sure, we had our Molly talks, but we shared a lot. But sometimes we still just, you know, there's still a part of us that we always hid.
Yeah, for sure. Or like the thoughts, and I want to say this in a way that's like judging your life, because I know it could come off like that. I really do wish that I didn't have the mental health history that makes it hard for me to party. Yeah. But I think when we on the EDC episode, when I shared that, I've just started to accept that it can't be as much in my life anymore because of what I've been through, you know, with depression, substance abuse, and everything. And I think I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I think
was that the part 2, or was that still part of part 1?
Still part of part 1, and then part 1. So example, like the Sheening's 50th birthday, I wish I could have gone, but I knew how that weekend would go and the behaviors I would fall back into in that environment. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't do it. So, you know, I felt bad because I remember his face, like, you're not coming next week. And I just like felt so bad. Like, oh, I know these people expected me on a deeper level there. Or like at Pride in SF, you know?
Yeah. You know, as much as I wanted you at both, I knew that you're just, you know, doing different things.
Yeah. And I just want to say it's more about that, not like boot up, but a little bit of that too.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that you had these expectations of what was going to happen at both things, and it was actually a lot chiller at both. Good. And like, I think we're all in these similar paths. We're not partying in the same way, or it was super chill. It was in relatively super chill. Well, I'll put it that way.
And I think the other thing I feel, so this the guilt is the one. And the other thing I feel is like, do I have, or where do I want this podcast to go when this podcast where we sort of like made a name for ourselves from like naming the unnameable, naming the things or talking about the experiences that kind of been in the shadows of gay, queer, Asian life before, like home pods, circuit parties, EDC, much to some people's chagrin, you know, but I wonder in this new life, how much of that, like what that means for what I want out of the podcast or what I share. And like, maybe this episode where we're just like talking whatever is a good sense of where I kind of want to be on this, and maybe where you want to be on this. And that's like, we can keep going to Prides every year and every year do a Pride episode. Like, but it isn't about, and I think
it wasn't about Pride. And that was the issue. It was not about Pride. It was about being at Pride, and it didn't feel like it.
Yeah, and I think
it's just our lives at this point.
Yeah, and I think then the point is not, and I know like the partying episodes put us on the map, but like, you know what, whatever. Let's just I think we've always wanted this to be like the real stuff we're going, and the fact that we've done this for almost fucking 2 years, girl.
Yeah, well, it wasn't part of the issue was that, and I think I've heard it from many others who come up to both me and you, is that it's not about all those things that you said. It's that we're willing to say these things out loud, because I'm finding that some people's friend groups just aren't able to comfortably talk to each other about these things, and so they may feel very alone. And I know I felt very alone sometimes, and then sometimes someone's like, you know, I'll have a brain fart and say something that I'm embarrassed about saying on the podcast, but you know, who cares? And then someone goes, I can't believe you said that. I've been going through that same thing. I think that's sort of the point. Not that about our partying, but our feelings about how we're navigating through life and talking to each other about it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know anymore. And I also don't go anymore. So I feel like no one listens to this, but I'm sure people do. But I don't care. I think, and this is what I was talking to my boyfriend about. I was telling him, there's some beautiful things I do feel like sharing, but like not really, because a relationship and this connection feels so private to us. And so all the things I think are really profound that's happening in my life is like with this person. And so
and it's harder to share.
Or if it's sharing, it makes it less special. I don't know. And even though I just shared whatever I
fucking COVID cough.
Oh, I don't feel like sharing it, and I literally have talked for 30 minutes.
This is what 2 glasses of wine and hitting record does.
Oh my god! Imagine it was Molly. Anyway, so I know, it's like when I voice these things, because I know, like, deep down in my gut, those aren't true. I know you guys are going to be my friends for a while. We're going to find, and we're all kind of going, it's good to hear that it's chill. We're all kind of going through it. But like, sometimes it's like, oh, I could feel how disappointed sometimes you guys are. But it's fine. I think it's fine. I think I've just accepted, like, okay, they can be, but
I would rephrase it as not disappointed, just kind of miss you.
Yeah.
Because I think there are plenty of things that all of us would want to do with you that aren't those things.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think when I'm in LA, my life does not revolve around that anymore. But then I see you guys have a game night, and that sounds fun. Yeah. You guys had a game night, and it's like, I'm into that. And once in a while I will go out, but like, for me, I've just accepted that.
Yeah. And
it's funny saying that, because like, we did that EDC episode, and I said that did the Be Real about like, hey, I just can't, like, I'm negotiating going out in my life. And then like, after the episode comes out that weekend, I'm posting Instagram stories with you from Glamcox. Anthony's like, oh, I guess you're still clubbing.
Yes, but limited clubbing. You had a few drinks, you left early, we got lost there. It was both different and not different. It was great. It was a great time. We can all have great times in different ways at different points in our lives. And I'm trying to also like do that too, because sometimes I get disappointed in myself about where I'm at with enjoying it. I can't handle it anymore. But I still do enjoy it, just differently.
Yeah. Well, what is, like, you think you mentioned you were adapting through change? Too,
yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was kicking with Eric, late Sunday night after partying, and one of the things is like, what I've learned is that, we have to adapt to change. And, it sounds so stupid in a sense. Like, of course people have to adapt to change, but like, I think as I thought about it more, it's not, you can say that, but it's the doing of it. Like, I don't always know what's changing, and I'm always late to the game. I'm totally oblivious to the changes that are happening until after the fact, and then I feel caught. Like earlier I was saying, pride has changed for me, and for a lot of people probably, and I don't think I really understood it until now, but I think it changed for me years ago. I don't think I thought about it. I didn't talk about it to anybody, because it just didn't come together in my mind in that way. I think I'm just always late to what changes, and this is like through everything, through work, my career. I feel very behind. I think I used to always feel very, in my 20s and 30s, I felt very excited about things. I was good at stuff, but all those things, I didn't change. I didn't get better. And so sometimes I feel like, oh, all these things have happened. They've passed me up. I need to catch up.
What? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out.
I used to be like so big on tech and big in like my job, and I was really good at it. Now I don't feel like very good at my job. Tech changed. Everything's changed.
Well,
like
tech
so
changed.
Many different
they all
types of
betrayed
tech.
us and laid us all off, and it took forever you to find something. And in a world where AI is replacing all those jobs, I mean, I guess it's.
And
but it's like us to blame ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
Or you feel like you were slow in catching up on the trends.
And I didn't learn a lot of stuff. I took things a little too easy, but I just don't think my brain thinks about those things quickly enough. And that's why I rely on talking to all of my friends to catch these moments where they are able to verbalize it and I'm not. And I'm like, that makes so much more sense. And I love that. And I think, and I hope that sometimes I have those moments and I share those with other people here or like in like small spaces that people go, oh, I can't believe I didn't think about that either. And maybe I can grow from it too. Like, you know, dating passed me up. it's what came and
Well,
went.
I don't think so.
No, not passed me up, but like all of that, like I just feel different about dating now. And so I just trying to like figure out where do I need to catch up and how do I do it? How do I adapt? What are these changes that I need to adapt to and what do I need to do? And it's not always clear to me.
And I think that's a theme from today. We are changing and the world is changing around us. Whether it's pride and how much we enjoy it and what pride means now. Whether it's like how we approach relationships, how we approach our jobs. And I think we are figuring out how to adapt to it. Yeah. I mean, it sounds very simple and it's like nothing, it's not sage like wisdom or anything, but like we're just trying to figure out how to we're realizing like the same shit that we've been doing just isn't like hitting the same, you know? And because we want to keep doing that forever? I don't know. And so now it's like the uncomfortable space of like, I can kind of see the kind of life I want that's different from right now.
Yeah.
And how am I going to get there?
I just miss the feeling of being confident about things.
Dude, that like late 20s, early 30s confidence.
That confidence was
anything.
Oh, chef's kiss. I missed that. I was good at things. I was happy, excited. I was excited to be around y'all. I did things. We all were complimenting each other. You're so good at this. You're so cool. Now I'm like, ooh, what happened? And it all happened slowly, and I didn't see it happening.
What happened? A fucking pandemic.
Yeah, it took so much away.
It took a lot away. There was life before the pandemic and after, but you can't go back and change anything, you know?
No.
And I've been in there like spirals where I'm like, look at my hair. Look at how full my hair was before I was 30. Everything changed
in the
pandemic.
I lost all my hair in that bleaching for Xining's wedding. And so I had a shaved head for a couple years. And so I've been growing it back. And all I see are white hairs. Never saw that before.
Oh, and this
I had 3 white hairs.
You can't see hair, but like you can see most of the white hairs here.
See, I had 3 white hairs before. Now it's like ahead of it. I've got like 3 white nose hairs and a few white pubes. I'm like, I'm dying here. I'm dying.
We're all in the process of dying, if you look at it that way.
You're dying as the day as you're born. That you're born.
No.
We're all dying the day that you're born.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we've talked a lot, but about
we should take a break.
We should take a break?
Yes, okay. We should take a break so I can fix this red ass color from all this drinking.
And the COVID. Okay.
And yes, the COVID.
Okay, so we didn't know how to end this.
Because that was depressing.
Well, we're like, we should end with a be real. That was a whole be real.
Yeah, I think we've shared enough in that area.
And so, in the theme of how random this was, because our guest canceled, we're just gonna like throw out random topics.
They
rescheduled because he's literally in pain, and that's just me and my anxiety catastrophizing. We're just gonna put up random topics and just be unhinged about them. And
Okay,
I'm gonna let you go first.
Before you say that, how do I look? Is my color good?
Yeah, you were. I think it was just the camera settings.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Because I look red now. Okay, never mind. Go ahead. First random topic.
Okay, so I guess I have all these notes that I keep taking because I'm always wondering, people tell me what they want to say here on the podcast, but mostly it's just what I want to say, but they don't ever fit. And so a recent one was about, I for some reason labeled it as paying for sex. No, I'm not a John, but
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with it, but I think about it often in that I think it's partly the ADHD. I can't be in the moment. I can't be in the moment as much as I'd like. And a lot of times when I'm having sex, I'm thinking, ooh, that Uber here is $15. That cost me $15, and then it's going to cost me another $13 back. That cost me some money to have that dick. Or if they come to my place, $3.25 for the laundry to do my sheets, because I'm going to do them after. I do not sleep in the sheets that I've had sex in. It's gross. And this last time,
You don't have a sex blanket or a sex
no, I think that's a
towel?
mood killer. Putting out a runner or a towel. I'm just I'd rather just change the sheets than.
We agree to disagree.
Yeah. See, I'm ooh, that ugly towel. I bought beautiful sheets to fuck on beautiful sheets.
There's a beautiful navy blue Target print flat sheet that goes everywhere when people are over.
That's
It
what
looks
I can
like
do
it's,
with the flat sheets.
but it just looks like it's a throw on the bed.
But then it feels oh, I'm expecting something to happen. I don't know what's going to happen.
Girl, I mean, for me, the cum goes everywhere.
Yeah.
And then
I don't sweat
there's
or any of those
little,
things.
and then you think you were clean, and then you come back later that night. It's oh, there's a little lube stain there, you know. And just bothers
this
me.
last time I went to this guy's house, it's been a while because I've been not feeling great for the last several months. I was I'm going to do this, but I don't want to change my sheets. I'm going to go to his place. I was there till 13 p.m. I get to my car. I got a street cleaning ticket at 12:07 p.m. for 12:01 street cleaning. That dick cost me $63.
Yeah, you know what?
And so I feel like I'm paying for sex.
Yeah, the economy.
I'm not.
The economics of a hookup is not what you think it is. You know.
No, yeah, and I can't stop thinking about it during. I mean, it drives me crazy that I can't just be the stick is in my mouth. The stick is in my mouth, but should I swallow so it doesn't fuck up my sheets? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, similar because before, when I used to like to hook up and I like the serendipity of it. I don't like inviting a random stranger into the house where they could be hot, but you might not have chemistry, but you're gonna go through it anyway because you spend all the time trying to hook up, getting the information, trying to find the right match, and then douching and then showering. For me, it's the time paying for sex in that situation is just not worth it for me. If it's bad, then I'm just depressed the whole time because I came just because I was anyway. So I like the bathhouse thing.
Yeah. Oh, is that how I should maybe think about that?
No, but then the thing about the bathhouse,
I get scared about having someone come over because they're going to murder me
exactly.
in my own home.
I mean, I hide my phone.
Oh no, I had my computer. I had
my cash.
Expensive stuff, and isn't that the worst? That this is the life that some people live, but it's a real thing.
It's a real thing. People have literally gotten robbed.
Yeah, or murdered.
Yeah, Asian people have literally been murdered by a famous serial killer.
Yeah. So I worry about these things.
I worry about those things, but then the bathhouse thing, you do pay this entrance fee, but then that is also hit or miss. It's okay, I've spent my weekend, and sometimes you're more turned on by the fantasy of maybe running into a hot guy who would hook up, and sometimes that happens, and when that happens, and the uneven results of that is what brings you back.
Somehow the entrance fee doesn't bother me because I've paid $10 to go into a shitty Badlands, so I think I'm just okay with it. At
yeah,
this
and
point.
if anything happens, there's a shower right there.
Come home
but it's
clean.
Dirty, it smells, and sometimes you're gonna get
cleanish
hot guys, and other times you're gonna get guys where you feel the loneliness in their lives. Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
it's one of those
That's
things
me.
I feel. No, and I'm just like, that's
They
future,
see my loneliness.
or like that's future me, you know. So some days I can go, and depending on the mood, I can feel like the hotness and the fun of it. And others I'm like, or it's a place for very lonely people. And it's one of those thoughts that I have that my friends are like, shut up, Al.
Shut up, Al.
Shut up, Al. Okay, my random thing. Unformed thought, but like brat summer. So brat being the...
What is brat summer? Because I keep seeing videos about it, and I keep thinking Brat's the dolls. It's not that, huh?
It's not. It's Charlie XCX's new album, Brat. Look,
My God. It is a song?
It's not a song. It's an album. It's an album called Brat.
You know, I just learned she's half Gujarati. She is Indian.
Yeah, she is.
Let's get her on the show.
Right.
We're gonna get.
She
This
might
is a
do
call
it.
out. Charlie XCX, you are a Gaysian at this point.
You know what?
Please come on the show.
This show might be alt enough in her world for it to match. Look, I think she is very talented. I've been a Charlie XCX fan and stan for so long. I love the album, particularly the remix of "Girl So Confusing" with Lorde. I do love her. But I think I have
said a lot
problem.
of words I don't understand. Keep going.
Yeah, this is the thing about TikTok. Like, here's this corner of the internet. Anyway, album's great, and they've really made a moment out of it in the summer, and like the gays have named it Brat Summer, and it just meant
okay.
it just
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
I don't even want to just go Urban Dictionary, like go on TikTok, search Brat Summer, and see people talking about it. And this is something I've realized because my boyfriend has read me on this.
Oh.
Because I was like, I love Charlie XCX and Brat, but once everyone started doing Brat Summer, I started hating it. And my boyfriend,
you're the alt Asian. You hate when the masses love something.
No, I know. And then my boyfriend's like, it is okay to like something other people like. I was like, weed.
It's true because they like them for a reason because they're good.
So it's because like he thinks the best movie, like he loves Legally Blonde, and I've never seen it, so he showed it to me. He's like, did you love it? And I'm like, I liked it. I can see, but I was like, I've seen all the pop culture jokes already because it's all over pop culture.
Yeah.
And so I thought I liked it. He's like, you didn't love it? And then it was this whole thing. And then he's like,
I love this.
It's ended up in like, you can like something other people don't like. I'm like, I like plenty of things. Oh, you can like things that people like. And I'm like, I like plenty of things that people like. In any case, Brat Summer made me realize like, oh, suddenly I don't like it because all these people are just mentioning it. I'm like, and some of these people, I'm like, you hated Charlie XCX. You always called it pots and pans music. And this is literally the pots and pans style. But like, just because it's like this huge internet thing, you suddenly like it. One. I feel the same way about Chapel Roan. When Chapel Roan was sort of my own little thing.
Okay, it's wild because I don't know any Chapel Roan music, but I love her. I love her.
I know.
I couldn't tell you the name of any song, but I love her and everything she stands for.
Well, listen to Casual. That's my favorite song that she's written. Really good. It's very like VH1 in the 90s, like Paula Cole, Sean Colvin, Alanis, but mixed with Lady Gaga visuals.
Well, like Troye Sivan was trying to push her up like 7-8 years ago.
I'm over Troye Sivan. Don't get me started.
Troye Sivan.
Don't get me started with Troye Sivan. I'm over him. But
it's okay to like things that
I know,
other people
but
like.
it's just like I realized and this is what I've realized. It's not that other people like it. It's that a lot of white gays like it. You know what I mean?
There we go. That's it. I know what you mean.
Like at this point, I would like Millennium and Above and Beyond more than Charlie XCX. and you know what? The person, Carly J. Refson, love her music, but the fact that that's her fans.
Oh, that's what I feel like about Taylor Swift. That the fan base. Okay. Okay. So I guess the issue is clarity. We don't like things when we don't like the fan base.
Mm-hmm. Very that. No, honestly, when we don't like white gay. Okay, another version of this. Challengers, the movie.
That's great.
Okay, you thought it was great. This is my experience. I went to watch it with Corey. Oh, sorry, my boyfriend.
Cut that
and
out.
We were like, oh. And we were just like, okay, this is going to be a great movie. Zendaya, great. And then right before the movie started, like 10 white gay guys, loud, annoying white gay guys sat in front of us. This is gonna sound so racist, but it isn't. And then suddenly I'm like, and they were so loud, and they were just like, yes, Queen Slay, the whole time during the trailer. And I'm like, Emmy and Corey just like look at each other like, this is a nightmare.
The white gay.
And the fact that they were in front of me loving it, I could not appreciate the movie.
I get that.
You know, like, and they were like, "That's so hot," and in my head I was just like, "Of course you think it's hot. It's too hot. White guys. Why couldn't one of the guys be a person of color? Why did the girl have to be a person?" And then I just started like hating on it for no damn reason. But this race thing, but the fact that like 10 white gay guys were in front of me, and I was just like, "What is wrong with?" And I realized I am the problem, but I can't help it. I just want to externalize these internal feelings.
We're the problem, but also white gays are the problem too.
I know, they just make everything so annoying when they like it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So like sometimes I'm like, unfortunately, like the only thing Asians can protect as their own culture
is millennium.
Is bad EDM. And you know, we gotta accept that.
Yeah, that's why I now still say I don't think Above and Beyond is bad anymore. It's not for me. Millennium is not for me. It is
I fuck with Above and Beyond. Yeah.
It is for people who love them. I just don't love them. And I love that a lot of my friends love them. Because I don't want to hate on my friends and what they like, even though I do that all the time. I want to appreciate what they like.
Yeah, and for me, I genuinely, artistically, objectively appreciate the Charlie XCX album, Chappell Roan's music, Challengers as a movie. But the fact that so many of the white gays love it, just something, just like, ugh, it's unfair to that piece of work. But you know what? Well, I guess Charlie XCX isn't fully white, but like, I don't
think a lot of people know that she is not fully white, and in that way, I'm not trying to erase her background, but I think there are some people out there who would think of her differently, knowing that she is half Indian.
Yeah. Okay, what's your next random topic?
I just wrote, I've been wanting to fuck a ginger, but like for a very long time. Does it count if they're bald?
Were they bald everywhere?
I don't know. Well, I haven't yet, but does it count?
Is this objectification? Is it okay because they're white?
Let me cross that bridge if I get to it. If it doesn't happen, which at this point it sounds like it won't because I've said this. Well,
or it will. Or it will.
Yes. Okay. So gingers, if you're listening, both bald and non-bald ones, let's figure out. Doesn't count.
Yes, and then let Chris know so he can figure out how much the Uber costs and if the street cleaning is happening the day you're gonna hook up.
Okay. What about? Okay. Next objectification. What's yours?
Objectification. Have I read?
Or no, whatever.
Okay, my whole thing is game. Okay, like this like new era I'm in where I really do enjoy game nights because I'm like, wow, you can get this kind of rush without any drugs.
Well, because you're competitive.
It's like no, I'm not competitive. I'm secretly competitive, but I like the fact that like I can't figure things out and like it's fun in this way, and then you connect with people in this way.
Yeah.
And so, but the one thing, you know the game Mafia or Secret Hitler.
I hate those games.
Okay. Well,
but yes, I know them.
I kind of like them because I watched the show Traitors and I like love this whole like idea of like, just eliminating people. I thought I liked it, so I started playing this game called Blood on the Clock Tower, which is basically like a mafia, where you can like you're the evil team, you're a good team, and there's like a demon, you have to kill a demon and the evil team. And my random thought is I fucking decided I hated it. I hate it. So the situation is, and I've shared this with Steve, who invited us, and I love you, Steve. There's nothing against you. And so I play with Steve, Kim, and Monet. It sounds like I'm name dropping, but like it's fun because we get to go and play this game. But then
it's fun because they're all bitches.
They're all bitches, and like you kind of want to play one of those like reality, like elimination games with people who have actually played reality, who have been on TV eliminating each other.
And Monet has said many times how much she would love to be on one of like a Traders.
Yes.
So she knows how she wants to play a game.
Yeah, but then we go into this space, and I thought it was going to be like all of my friends was like we played Secret Hitler like that, but I found out that we're going to this game. We're going to play this game with half of this new group of white people.
Oh,
who play this game? Oh my god, this section makes me look so against white guys, which I'm not. But like, maybe I. Okay, anyways, let me just finish this story. And it felt weird because they play the game every week. And so it just felt like we were like, and they kept like knowing all these like side rules, and I was just trying to learn how this very complicated game. And I've just decided I don't like that. Like it felt like we were just pawns and puppets for these experienced white players to like play a game in a new way.
Or maybe you just don't like being new. You like to be the expert on things.
Yeah, I do, but it also was like that feeling. And then we played a version of the game where they made up the rules, and I'm like, no.
Ooh.
You know, like, that's just like hard. It's really hard to go into a situation where the white people made up new random rules that you don't know. It is kind of triggering.
I get it. Sure. Yeah,
I realize, but that's the point of a game like that. They call it something like a GM game, like a game master game, where like
Dungeon Master.
Yeah, like Dungeons and Dragons, where like it is. You have to embrace the fact that there's a randomness.
That's part of the excitement.
I realize I don't like that.
I
like to know all the. I like to be fair. I like to know all the rules on the table, so that I can win. I thought I would be the person who would like this because I used to be like, that's life though. But it was like maybe too close to life, particularly when they played this version of the game when they made up their own rules. That I was like, not fucking with it. But I do love game nights, blah, blah, blah. I like collaborative games, I realize. Collaborative games. I think you played it, that one where like there's that, everyone has to guess the number and you like based on vibes. What's that called?
Is it Cambio? No. Yeah, it's a teamwork game, but everyone is both good and bad at it. And I love that nobody can actually be that much better than you.
Yeah, but you have to feel the vibe, and it's really just like it's going not off any gameplay. It's fun in that way. Anyway,
my favorite games that are short and a lot of screaming. Yeah. Lots of screaming at each other.
And you're good at that.
Yes.
So I don't know. I just needed to say that because I think Bob and Monet were on like another podcast saying how great the game is, and I think my take is I don't think the game is great. It's racist.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. It's not racist. I'm just kidding. Those white guys, they were nice to us. It wasn't a racist space. It was my own upbringing, experience, and triggers
perception.
I was bringing to it. I got over it after the first round, but then when it was the game where they made up their own rules, I was like, this is fucking like society.
See?
If it was, honestly, so it's obviously things I'm bringing to the table. I've kind of been like lukewarm on white people, like hot and cold on white people in this episode. But that is the random thing. For me, what is your next one?
I wrote about Father's Day. Oh. The best thing about Father's Day now is not having to worry about Father's Day. It's a little dark.
Look at for new listeners, why?
My father passed away just this year, so like June came up and I didn't know what was happening, and all of a sudden, like I was getting these ads, but one ad in particular had a little disclaimer at the bottom that said, "Would you like to not see a Father's Day ad like this in the future?" I was like, oh, that's inclusive.
Oh my god. Sorry, it's one of those things I shouldn't be saying anything.
No,
but it's so taboo that I can't help but laugh.
I mean, I didn't have to think about getting a gift. My dad hated Father's Day. He didn't celebrate. Now I don't have to think about either playing into it or faking it. I don't got to show up for a shitty dinner. I'm like, woo, thank the Lordess. I'll just, light a candle for him and say, thanks, Dad. You hated it, and so do I.
That was really good. I have no words, and I'm going to let that sit. But that was, I just want to tell you, the silence is not because it's not really good. There's nothing I can say to that.
Okay. Yeah. You next.
Okay, let's do this really quick. Okay.
No, we'll keep it quick for our listeners who are getting bored.
Okay. This sounds like a very this is just a random. What does this sound like? This sounds like the type of things people make fun of on TikTok when they make fun of California Asians who have podcasts.
All right, Chriso.
But okay, well, before I get to that, Chriso, let me get to Chriso.
Okay.
My one thing with Chris Zoe is like, I was just kind of having fun, probably a little shady, tongue in cheek, at EDC when I made this reel on Instagram.
Yeah,
that got a lot of play.
This.
That said that, hey, what's up with all the kissing pictures on EDC? I can't tell if you're hard launching your relationship, if you're kissing an influencer for the clout, or if I forgot the third one. Anyway, so. Kissing an influencer and clout meant a lot of different people. I don't think anyone believes me when I say that, but I definitely believe that. But I think of Chris Zoe in the moment because my friend had made out with Chris Zoe and posted it on Instagram. Yeah. But I don't think my friend did it for clout. But I added that to just be like bitchy.
Yeah.
And Chris
it's
and
social media.
Chris and my friend Matt were really in on the joke. They were commenting and having fun with it. And then 2 weeks ago, someone was like, oh my God, did you see Chris posted about it? I'm like, oh yeah. He was commenting on the thing when I posted it a while ago. I was like, no, he did a whole reel on it. Mm-hmm. And then my friend sent it to me. He's like, you haven't seen it? I'm like, no. And I saw it and it was like, oh, it was stitched with our reel on literally Gaysians about that. And then he kind of went into the fact that, has he become that person who has clout and hates those kind of people and he was just expressing some maybe discomfort with that, or maybe it wasn't discomfort, but maybe what I projected onto it as discomfort about being
a social media star.
maybe the reference in that, and maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm dancing around it. Maybe I should just own it. It's of course part of it was the picture I saw that came up with the idea, but I also just saw other ones, and so. I saw ones with two different OnlyFans. Yeah, people making fun with making out with OnlyFans people, different OnlyFans people making out with each other, and it is for the clout because that's the main picture. They tagged each other, and it's gonna get a lot. It's Instagram. The clout is intrinsic.
I think there's the other version of it is posting your crying breakups. It's a little bit of the clout, a little version of it. It's hard. I know me and you used to send so many TikToks of breakup videos. What's the point of that? There's a little bit of clout. I don't know. Is it clout? I have no idea.
I love those.
I love those. And the worst part of it is I've saved so many of them and they've deleted them all.
Yeah. The best ones are the IG stories close friends when people have just broken up.
And I feel bad for them because if they have put me as a close friend and post that and I want to make fun of it, I'm like, oh, I'm a shitty friend.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So the thing about Chris Zoe, I don't even know if I want to say I'm sorry because I don't even know if I am that or if he even wants an apology. And no, I think things are weird because first of all, we posted that reel when he was on literally Gaysians about dating white guys, and it got the worst comments on it.
It did. I don't get it. It's not him. Now. It's the other people.
It's the other people, but still. And maybe we were just doing that for our own clout. If we're being honest. Because he was on here because he was big, and anyway, we share an audience.
But they also came at us and saying it about us too.
Yeah, but I don't think the way it was edited that I edited helped. And then
blame it on the edit.
And then this thing, I don't know. It's leaving a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know what to do. Anyway, so let me move on from Chris Zoe. And the only reason why Chris Zoe, you mentioned that because Chris Zoe has done a video about California Gaysians with podcasts, and so has many people on TikTok. But the thing I want to call out is a lot more trivial, which is like, girl, do you know that Starbucks and Coffee Bean are both doing boba for the summer?
And who's the one who does the fruit slushy stuff? They tried boba too.
Jamba Juice?
Jamba Juice tried it, but they're all weirdly different.
They
They're
call
not
pearls.
all boba, and they pop. They're like filled. They're not necessarily boba.
Those Starbucks is like pomegranate, raspberry, pearls.
White boba.
So how do we feel about that? Like, is it great that some parts of Asian culture have gotten to this?
Have been introduced. And people
Like
like the
as
taste.
part of the mainstream that is offered at a chain? Or is it sad that
That they've
capitalism...
bastardized it.
Yeah, capitalism is this point where you've bastardized a trend so that you... And because I've worked at retailers, they call it share of wallet. Like, the share of the money that would have been spent at like a boba time is being spent
At Starbucks.
at Starbucks because it's there and you have like, and it's
Wow.
like, do I think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
You just don't like when the masses like something.
Well,
No,
I
no,
like
I get
when
it.
I like when the masses like something and they go to boba time and an Asian person gets the money. I don't like that Starbucks and Coffee Bean get the money. I don't think you like that either.
No, I don't. It's like when like those people make the try to copyright ramen. Like, no, don't copyright ramen. Don't copyright kanji and joke. You didn't come up with it, but you're trying to capitalize it in a certain
what is
way.
it? A chili crisp.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah. Okay. So my whole thing is like, little Hillary, who like is this white girl who likes boba. If she liked boba and the only option was boba time, she would go buy it at boba time, and it would be an Asian thing that goes to Asian pockets. But like, the fact that she's gonna go to Starbucks and it goes to Howard Schultz, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if we feel great about that. You know?
So they're pro-union now in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So-
Starbucks defender.
Not a defender. I don't drink Starbucks just because I'm poor, but they are now embracing the union. So
okay.
I am pro-union. That's who I am.
Okay. Let's each do one more. Wait, how many did we each do?
I don't know.
1, 2, 3. You did 1, 2. You did one more. Do one more.
I gotta if you go to a DJ set and, like not necessarily a queer one, if you go to a DJ set and there are only a line for the men's bathroom, that is shit music. If there's only men at your DJ set, it is bad music. You need women there. It's bad. It's bad. It's
Who
bros.
are you talking about? This is a generalization that comes from experience, I can tell.
I'll be going to a John Summit or a Damdala, and if like 80% showed up that was men, it's shit. But I am so happy that John Summit was at New York Pride because he knows that the gays like to party and the gays love him. You've been seeing those TikToks. He's having troubles because him and many other so-called big time DJs hate some of their fans. And some of their fans are some of the worst people in the world.
Yeah.
And yeah, like enjoy the music, not
Like our
going
listeners.
there with your girls trying to like impress them with how much coke you have. It's really
you
weird.
going with your gay friends and impressing them with how much K you have.
Yeah. Because you're the K king, the K queen.
Yeah. Well, let's just do 2 more. I mean, we're here already.
Okay, do I have any more? You go.
I just want to say I'm so proud of Tinashe.
Yes,
I'm so happy she's
yes.
having a moment.
She's getting
like,
her flowers.
10 years, like 5 years after she went independent. She's just been this like small independent artist, and Nasty just really took off on TikTok. And when the song is good, the song is fucking good.
We've been rooting for her for so long.
I know. And this one person that now that a lot of people like her, I will not turn on because I've just been there for a long time. And wait, and you've seen Hacks.
Love it. Gay,
did you finish Hacks?
Love it. Yes.
Did you finish?
Hacks
that
is
scene?
fucking amazing.
Did you see that scene where the guy who runs her QVC stuff,
her manager,
like is like down on her, and he goes to like some pride thing and goes to a gay bar, and like another fan says like, you know,
you gotta let other people.
Yeah, you gotta let other people
love.
like it.
You have to let other fans love the person in the way that they want to also.
Yeah, and Tinashe is one of those people I'm gonna let do that. I don't know, something with Charlie XCX and Chapel Roan, I can't. But but Tinashe, all for it. I'm so happy for her. She deserves it. She deserves her flowers, and I hope she gets
been
more.
on repeat all this Pride weekend for all of our playlists.
Oh, good.
And I am happy for that.
How about
Thank you,
Lisa
Adam.
Rockstar?
Thank you to me. Thank you to Adam. We love some Tinashe.
Okay, your one last one for you.
I was at a Jamie Jones concert, and I was trying to take a Instagram video because I don't know why I take Instagram videos at concerts as if people are watching my Instagram.
Wait, it's like
nobody
lives?
cares.
Lives or Instagram?
Just like
story?
instant like little story.
Okay.
And I hold it up, and I'm always fumbling with my phone, and this guy taps me on the shoulders like, "I saw your search page. You are gay." I was like, "Yes, I am." Yes, I am. You know, because like you open it and your search page comes up, and it's just all. I hate it. It is half of it is weird art, a couple of dogs, a bunch of muscly men, and drag queen makeup tutorials that I've never watched.
Yeah. So the thing about IG search, it changes day to day. And a fun game I sometimes play when I'm drunk with people is like, let's show each other our IG Explore page.
I love it.
And for me, every time I hold up, please don't have white guys on. Okay, I'm not helping my case about like how much I'm talking about white guys. Wait, let's look at. And then, but today when I looked it up, it was like relationship advice.
Oh God, mine is like, all right, mine is makeup tutorials. The guy in the like broke straight guys, some Justin Timberlake. I got Jojo Siwa. Oh, there's an Asian guy. There's a Latino guy. Oh yeah, it's actually more diverse than I thought, but not the best.
Well, see, so for some reason, mine today, I think Instagram has just decided that like, oh, this guy's in a relationship now and he's not as thirsty. Look at this.
You have food. It's all food.
So, food. Okay, one is like, don't stop getting attached. The other one says, how to quote unquote let them go. The other one is, what dismissive avoidance.
How does it know this about you?
I think because I've been liking and sending things to my boyfriend. 10 signs they're emotionally available. July intentions. If someone has been reckless with your heart, careless with your feelings, and willing to communicate, and yet you're still pursuing a relationship with them, this post is for you. Oh, you ready for this one?
Oh God, I'm ready.
And then it's backwards, but is
It's
Chapel Roan
an industry plant?
It's been listening to us.
It
this whole
sure has.
Okay,
the whole podcast.
Here the thirst trap started showing up, like when I go down.
Oh, mine was Star Trek for a while and X-Men 97.
And there's a Chris Zoe post on Pride that says, "Dear straight people." So anyways, and there's a bunch of stuff on
It knows our
Brat.
day-to-day feelings. And
knows our
the
day-to-day
algorithms, it's like Westworld. The algorithm knows us better than we do.
And I feel like the algorithm shows us how basic we are.
I wouldn't say basic. I would say the algorithm is presenting our feelings in front of us before we even know that we're experiencing that feeling.
I know. That's kind of depressing.
Yeah. We're all just a bunch
It's like,
of
a computer
biological...
knows me better.
We're a bunch of biological code that means nothing. We're all going to die someday and mean nothing.
Yeah. And you know what? A great way to end the episode. A great spiral to end this very spiralless episode on random shit because our guest canceled. But I had a great time.
I did. And, you know, all that we said was probably pre-programmed by some universal algorithm. And then we die.
I know. If you ask ChatGPT to come with this random script for literally Gaysians, I think they would hit all these points. There's no room for human creativity anymore.
You know, I used ChatGPT to come up with some of these points, but then my ADHD forgot that I asked it, so I didn't even look at it. So fuck you, ChatGPT. You didn't get me this time.
Yeah. And I think I'm a little buzzed now. So with that, you can follow. At this point, like, do we even need that part? You can follow us everywhere. Look up Literally Gaysians and follow us wherever you want to.
Yeah.
But particularly on Patreon, where you can pay to support us. And now we're gonna go get even deeper into some shit that we wouldn't share on this podcast for our Patreon only episode. Yeah. So,
and if you see our TikToks or Reels, make some comments, good and bad. We'll respond. It'll be fun.
We'll respond when we remember.
Well, at least put a heart. We'll put a heart on it at least.
Yeah, we'll put our heart on it. So, anyways, till next time when we'll have a guest show up. Bye.
Thank you.